Hey guys, Bayleaf here from Computerized Fates Takeover. This week's video is going to kind of be like last week's video. I guess it's going to be more of a story time because I want to know your guys' opinion on it because my close friend Jenny thinks it's really weird. So I want to know what you guys think about it. For this, I guess it's going to have to be kind of a background story. So it is story time. A few years ago, a year ago, I don't know, because it was my sophomore year and I'm a senior now. I'm gonna graduate in 2017, but I know it's from 2014 to 2015. Like school year beginning 2014, then ending in 2015. So my sophomore year, beginning of sophomore year, my close friend Jenny wanted me to try out for an improv group that run by our school with her, so I did. And then I got called back up with this kid that I had never met before. Jenny had never seen him before. I had never seen him before. It was really weird just because we thought we knew everybody in the school already. So we thought he was a freshman. We thought he was a new junior. We thought he was a senior. Like we thought anything besides he could be a new kid. So when I went up there with him, it was really nerve-wracking because one, I have stage fright. I hate talking in front of people. I hate being on stage. I hate people looking at me. I'm just a mess. I don't even know why I tried out, but I did. And when I got up there with him, it was like none of it even mattered. Like we instantly clicked. We were good together in that pair. We made each other laugh. We thought quick on our feet. We just clicked, okay? And so we were on there for a while. Like it gets kind of iffy, but my ex-boyfriend, who I had a thing with at the time, was like, I don't like this kid. And I was like, well, he's on my improv team, because we both made it on, so we were really excited for each other, even though we never met. We didn't even know each other's names. But when I saw him in the hallway, I was like, yo, did you make it? And he was like, yeah, I did. Did you? And I was like, yes. So we bonded over that, I guess. But my ex-boyfriend at the time was like, I don't like him. I was like, well, like, we're on the same improv team. I can't just not talk to him. So he understood that, and he kind of just got used to the fact that that kid would be around. And I'm gonna call him Roger, the kid that the story is about. Just like, that's not his name, but I don't know if he'd feel comfortable with me saying his name, so I'm just gonna call him that. So like, I can't remember when our first show was, but at our first show, I was actually dating my boyfriend at the time, and like, there were seniors, juniors, sophomores. All the seniors sat on one side, or like the juniors who were close friends with seniors sat on one side. Everybody below sat on one side, so I was sitting over there with Roger and Jenny and all of the freshmen and sophomores. And so we all hung out on our side, and like, I looked over to Roger and I was like, I want to slap you next time we get on stage together. And he was like, okay. And like, we were gonna play Freeze, and if you have never played Freeze, it's a really fun game if you are into improv or just any cool thing. But it's a game where you're supposed to have two people at a time, and you have everybody else behind you, and anybody behind you is allowed to say freeze and take your spot and start. They're supposed to start a new scene. So the improv instructor even let the old kids, like from years before, come up if they were in the audience. So we had a huge group, not just like all of us. So all of us had to participate, including those like 10 to 15 kids who weren't in high school anymore. And so I don't go up in front of crowds ever unless I have to. And she told me that I had to participate in it because I'm on this team anyways. So I finally saw my opportunity when one person was laying on the ground, the other person was standing up, and so I said freeze, and I tapped the person laying down, and I got in my position, and I said, paint me like one of your French girls, Jack, and the whole crowd erupted in laughter, and like, I don't know, I guess it was one of the biggest laughs we had. I'm not just saying that to make myself feel better, like literally everybody told me that. But when I couldn't stop laughing, Roger tried to get into the scene, and someone went to tap me, and he was like, no. So he tapped the other person, and they still tapped me, so I had to get out. So we didn't get our scene together, but as soon as like that happened, my entire family in the audience saw who he was and they were like, oh my god. And so after the whole performance, they like came up to me and they're like, why aren't you dating him? And keep in mind, my boyfriend's like right behind them. And they're like, why aren't you dating him? He's so cute, he's funny, he has stuff in common with you. And I'm like, we're on the same improv team, that'd be kind of weird. Even though Roger had been showing signs that he had liked me, or he like told me, I can't remember. And so after the show, I said bye to Roger, and then I didn't hang out with him, but I saw him and I was like, oh, thanks for coming. And he got really salty because he heard what my family said. So I was like, well, it's stupid, just like leave it alone. And after that show, I did hang out with Roger more at school, like on our off hour, but I hung out with my boyfriend too. Like we all three hung out together, as weird as that sounds. We all three hung out together, and then Roger and I like stopped talking. I think we had a fallout. I'm not quite sure. We just kind of like drifted, and then like New Year's Eve, my boyfriend went to bed, and so I was like, hey, I'm just gonna stay up and what? And so like Roger had been posting all these Snapchat stories, and it was like of him and his little brother, or like him in his house alone, and I thought they were funny. So I messaged him. I was like, you're really funny, your Snapchat stories give me life. And so we Snapchatted there on out, and we got really close because his birthday and my birthday are around the same time. They're in the same week, I think. And so he was like, I told him happy birthday, and then he told me happy birthday. And as soon as that happened, we started becoming friends, and like we would hang out on our off hour together, which was 4th hour, and then me and my boyfriend's off hour is 3rd. So as you can see, it was kind of perfect. So we just progressed on being friends, and then my grandma died January 19th, and her funeral was in the same week. It was on the Friday, I believe. And so I didn't go to school from there on out. Like, I didn't go to school until Thursday. I went to school just to see my boyfriend, and Roger, like, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he didn't want to hang out with me, and I was like, okay. Or like my boyfriend like ditched his class to hang out with me. And then I had to go back to Wyoming, so I drove up there that night on Thursday night, Thursday night, because I stayed the night, and then I went to the funeral in the morning. When I got there, Roger had texted me and was like, hey, and like we were talking, and then I said something about my grandma, and he literally was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, or something along those lines. And it just really hurt my feelings, especially since my grandma had just died. And so I was like, hey, bye, and I completely cut him out of my life. And that was in January. And then in March, my ex-boyfriend and I broke up. We broke up twice, but we broke up, and Roger had begun messaging me again, and we were just talking, and he was making advances towards me, even though I was heartbroken. I was pathetic heartbroken. It was so, like, when I think about it now, it's so upsetting that I was that heartbroken over someone. But so I was like constantly crying over my ex, and he was like, hey, how are you? Even though he was moving back to Texas, I think he was moving, or he just wasn't around anymore. And so Jenny's bright idea was to tell him that I was a lesbian and just leave it at that. And then for anybody who knows me, I am bisexual. I am openly bisexual, and I do lean towards girls more than I do boys. And everybody who is in my life should know that by now. If they don't, that's on, like, whatever. I basically tell someone every fucking day how attractive they are if they're female. But so, like, we were Snapchatting, and I was like, I think I'm a lesbian. And he sent me videos crying after. He was like, please don't be a lesbian. I want to be with you so badly. And I was like, I'm not a lesbian. I just said that to leave me alone. And he just, like, he didn't understand that I was sad. And I was heartbroken over my ex-boyfriend. I didn't want anything. Even if I told him that, which I did, he did not understand. So in May, my ex-boyfriend and I were getting back together, and I eventually told Roger, and he threw a huge fit, and he told me I was a bitch and that I shouldn't even try to talk to him again, and blah blah. So we didn't talk anymore at all. And then recently, a few days ago, this girl on Instagram tried following my girlfriend Taylor, and then she tried following me. So I followed her first to see who it was, and I didn't know who it was. Taylor told me about this girl. I was like, oh wow, okay, it's the same girl. And then it was like one follower, because Roger and I had, like, we blocked each other from everything. So then it was like, I just was going down and I saw his name on there, and I was like, whoa, they're following each other. And like, so I let her follow me, and I unfollowed her because I'm that type of person. And like 2 hours later, I got a friend request from Roger, and I was like, on Facebook, and I was like, what? And so he only has 4 friends on Facebook, and like, I don't know, I told Jenny about it, and she's like, you should message him and see what's up, because like you guys completely cut each other out of your lives together as a mutual thing. And I was like, I know. So I messaged him. He actually messaged me back while I was making this video. But I think Jenny just thinks it's really weird that throughout everything in the past, and now that my ex-boyfriend is completely out of my life, that it's weird that he is coming at this point in time, and that right when I noticed that like the one follower I would know of that girl's was him. So tell me if you think it's weird or a coincidence, I guess, because I'm really confused about the situation, and I don't even want to message him, but I did, and I'm gonna go see what he said right now. I know this video is completely pointless, and it's really long and me ranting, so I'm so sorry. But if you guys enjoyed my video, I guess you could hit the like button. I am going to include my personal Instagram account and my Snapchat. My personal Instagram account, I do kind of post like daily, I try to, and then my Snapchat, it's literally just the dumbest shit ever. But I mean, if you want to laugh at how stupid I am, that's totally fine. But yeah, make sure you like everybody else's videos, and like us on Instagram, like everybody's personal Instagrams. Subscribe if you want, that'd be totally cool. So I'm done talking your ear off. Thank you guys for watching and listening and giving me your feedback. I'll see you next Friday, guys, okay?